This is a 1936 Case Li industrial tractor, and these are actually pretty rare now, so I thought I'd give you folks a bit of a look around it. Now this is in the condition that I dragged it back in. As you can see, it's still got pine needles and mulch on the front of it. There's lichen or lichen, whichever one it is, in various places on it. But this was buried pretty deep within the pine trees and rocks, and it was covered pretty well, so I think that has protected it. All the tyres will hold air for it to move around. This rear one here, the rear right, has actually got no air in it at all, but the rubber is just so solid it allows it to stay up. The front will go down slowly. It's not the best, but you can put air in and it'll last 4 or 5 hours with no problems at all. Because it was so well covered up by the trees and things, there's no real rot in it. Any rust that's on it is surface, and it's in surprisingly good condition. It's not locked up, which really shocked me. It turns over, it fires. I've even had it running for a few seconds. I will be pulling the carb off and doing a rebuild and all those kind of things and going through the fuel system, but very surprised at how much compression it's got and what generally good condition it's in, especially for such a rare thing. Now at the front here, what you're looking at is what's left of a sweeper. Now the sad thing about this is the previous owner scrapped the deck for the sweeper the day before I agreed with him to take it, so that's gone forever, sadly. Because again, that's also very rare, but it's a really cool mechanism. Now your oil fill blanks that you can see, and that lever there engages it off the front. Now this would normally be the way that you would start a Case L. Obviously you can't do that, and that really confused me right at the start, and I posted on one of the forums to see if anybody had a clue how you could possibly start this thing, because I'd looked around it several times and I couldn't see anywhere where you could insert like a crank to get on there to start it over. Obviously there's a sprocket with a chain that would have gone down to the deck. I never got a chance to see that deck. I don't know what it looked like. You've got the magneto here, which I put it on top dead center and I cleaned up the points in it, and I noticed that well, actually, it wasn't me that noticed. I was talking with a friend of mine, same friend that introduced me to this tractor and let me know that it was rare, and we were just generally talking about the firing order, and I said to him, is this, because we do a lot with old Jags, I said, is this a bit like a Jaguar where cylinder number 1 is at the rear, so because some of the L6s were like that? He said, no, on all the American stuff it's at the front, so whoever had got this had wired the spark plug wires up wrong. So there was no way it was ever going to run, and the previous owner said that his dad had got it, and all he ever remembers is it sitting in a field. He doesn't remember it ever running, if I remember that correctly. So I think what probably happened is his father bought it, got it home, couldn't get it to start because somebody had got the spark plug wires in the wrong order, or at some point they did, and then it just never did anything. It just sat there. But it's just in astonishingly good condition, considering the brakes still work. We towed it out with a Cat D4 track loader, which another friend of mine had managed to get running while we were there to pull the rest of the equipment out, and he'd pulled out a Badger, which is like a mining excavator, really early one. And I was really surprised that when you put your foot on the brake, they just work perfectly. The gears all seem to work. It's astonishing that something that has sat for this long just has everything pretty much working. Now, when I went to pull it out, the first thing I did is I went around with a grease gun and I greased every zerk I could find. I checked that we had oil in it. Now, these are a little bit different. From this era of tractor, what tends to happen is you have 2 taps on the oil pan, and there's no dipstick as such. So to check the oil, when you fill the oil, you pour it in until it comes out the top tap and turn it off, and to check the oil, you pour a little bit out of the bottom tap. So it is kind of I had a look and the oil seemed to be okay, you know, for something that's probably sat 20 years plus. The oil bath on the air intake, you would swear that oil is brand new, and I will take that off in another video so you could see, but it is honey brown and clear. So again, I think part of whoever probably messed up the spark plug wires, I'm guessing they put new oil in the filter bath, but this is not within the last couple of decades. I'm just astonished that it's sat there and nothing bad has happened to it at all. When I did get this running late at night, and I do a video, but it's absolutely awful. A few pine cones shut out the exhaust, but other than that, and it ran for 10 seconds or so. I need to go through and take the carb off and rebuild that. We'll be putting that in the ultrasonic bath, and I'll get all that in a video for you so you can see that going through. I have no doubt that this is going to run and drive with no problems whatsoever. It wasn't locked up. I bore scoped it and the bores look really good. I did, before I even attempted to turn it over, take the plugs out, clean tested the plugs in the spark plug machine, and lubed up all the cylinders and then turned it over gently for a while. Both these toolboxes I've still got things in them, and they're just pretty standard farming things. You know, you can see that it's just been used, and whatever they were doing, little jobs, they were putting bits of it into the toolboxes. There's no treasure in there, nothing exciting. Same with this one here, and there's a serial number there that you can see pretty clearly as it comes through. Now, I don't know what colour these industrials were. Clearly there's some grey paint under this bright orange, and if you guys know what colour they were, whether they were the original case grey or whether they came from the factory in this Day-Glo orange, please pop it in the comments. I would love to know that. If this is something that you want to see more of, please let me know, and if there's any shots of it or any detailed parts that you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to get that sorted out.